Chris Chinnock here for Display Central. I'm in New York City today with both Delta and Mersive. The second piece we want to talk about is the Solstice application collaboration software, essentially.
Right.
So actually, Chris, why don't you start by explaining how this works?
Well, so the vision behind Solstice really is that I should be able to walk into a room, see a display, and treat it like it's shared infrastructure. So what that means is I don't have to go look for the cable. I click a button on an application, detect the presence of that display, and click publish. And now my media is on that screen. Right. So it should be one, as simple as that. But then Solstice takes you one step further. It says, well, what happens when I don't have the cable and there are 4 or 5 people in the conference room that want to share data together? So we support simultaneous access, publishing any application window at any given moment. It's not restricted in who's going to sequence who, and then control. So when I publish, I can change layouts. I can select something that Rob's published, move it around on the screen, say, hey, let's discuss that later, put it to the side by literally dragging it off to the side and letting go. So you're not really restricted by the technology to collaborate. Yeah. So it's presentation and collaboration both.
And it's actually quite easy to use. We actually sat down when we did this demo earlier, and I brought in my laptop. We downloaded the application right from your website. Installed on my machine. It was a little tricky getting it to work on Windows 8, but it did install. Yep. And it's not designed for that, folks, but it does.
It is now.
It is now. Yeah, exactly. So we got that to work, and I was able to share information from my laptop. I went to the website, so we can put that information up there. We were able to share information from Chris's laptop, also all on the big screen here. Then Rob Bagley, who's the president or CEO. I actually had a tablet also, right. And we were able to share information from the tablet. Right. So this works very easy. There's lots of very simple interfaces where you can kind of move this information around. It's easy to use collaboration software. Just what you said.
Yeah. I mean, it's years in the making. So the first step was, can we move HD pixels at 60 hertz over Wi-Fi? Yeah. And the answer is yes, you can do that. You have to be very clever about how you look at the Wi-Fi network and what the quality of service requirements are, and then use them to your best advantage. So we can do that piece. That's the technology layer. But then there's a whole usability question, and that's actually more important. Yeah. Because to me, it's very nice to have a 6-input, 6-out switch or whatever you need for your AV environment. And that gives you the quality of service, but it doesn't give you the ease of use for the end user to walk into a conference room and start touching that switch. It just doesn't happen. So we didn't want to reinvent a system that starts to look like that. It has to be end user usable. So you walk in and click a button.
And you do need a server in the room where this system is set up. In this case, it has basically the main part of your software there, and then every device that connects to it is a client download, essentially.
Right, and I think it's important to keep in mind that this is all commercially off the shelf available. So Windows 7 PC, existing Wi-Fi or Ethernet network, yes. And Solstice software connected to the display, and you've got everything you need. The only thing that you need to do from that point is download a free client to your Windows or iOS device, and we'll have Android available in Q2. And that's a free download, and that's available on our site or our partner's site. So essentially, you're taking a Windows 7 PC with an existing network and bringing the performance of hardware-heavy, legacy-based control distribution systems right. into a modestly sized conference room. Right. So there's no room constraints, there's no special requirements. So between the WX display and Solstice, you're getting something that's a fraction of the cost. None of the maintenance, none of the setup requirements, exactly. And an end user can run it themselves.
And this configuration right here is about less than 20 grand for 2 full HD projectors plus the server and the screen, the whole setup.
Delta's designed this to be a complete turnkey package, right. So that $20,000 price includes all the hardware that you see, including the PC, the GPU, frame grabber card, Solstice software. Good. So there's nothing else required. And
single SKU.
Single SKU, comes delivered in a box. You set it up in under 2 hours.
Right.
Chris, I also want to point out that one of the things I want to make sure that the viewers know is that you're not limited to the number of users, and you're not limited to the amount of media that you're publishing as well. And we can all, as you saw, publish media simultaneously.
Yes.
Right? And so it's a really important distinction from some of the competitive offerings in the market right now is not a limit to the users, not a limit to the media, and all of it can be published at the same time. And we're running live video updates. So all of your media, as you're typing on your Word document or you're playing with a 3D model, is all being updated live here. And what are we getting, Chris? 50, 60 frames per second?
That's right. Yeah, for a typical feed, if it's only, it's really limited by your bandwidth
Yeah.
because we're using whatever network's available. So, 50, 60 hertz easy off of a single video feed. 4, 5, 6 users will degrade gracefully into 40 hertz,
Right.
35 hertz, in that range.
Right.
Yep.
And you can get content anywhere. I mean, if I could connect to my server, I could have pulled documents right from my server.
That's right. Yeah, we're not limited by the content
Yeah.
source. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and even though this configuration, because gives you lots of pixels, and when you have easy sharing, it just begs for lots of pixels, is a really nice package.
Yeah.
You can also use Solstice on anything. I mean, we have customers that'll just want to buy a big flat panel and put it at the front of their conference room,
Sure.
even a single HD feed, and still do media sharing on that. Yep.
And you don't have to be limited to just this configuration either. You can have additional displays around the room if needed. It's just it's unlimited number of users and an unlimited number of output display devices, just depending on your graphics cards.
That's right. Yeah, if you had a Infinity 6 card in that PC, we could drive a 3x2 array of flat panels with the same software.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And they could be can they be distributed in multiple rooms? I suppose doesn't matter.
You run a video cable to them. Yeah, for sure you can.
So, all right, that's great. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris Chinnock for Display Central.